This story takes place 27 years after the First Corporate War. The Nest by Sean Carrière. Chapter 41. As soon as bench press and the girl prisoner disappeared up the stairs, Kyle turned to the vault. That's when he saw the steel door slamming shut.
Son of a bitch!
Kyle said through gritted teeth. Knowing he couldn't open the vault from the outside, the young bounty hunter turned back toward the stairs. That's when he saw dozens of new rats rushing up from the basement like the ever-respawning enemies in a video game. The GAC barked before running empty again. Kyle ejected the spent magazine and reached for the last magazine along the front of his equipment webbing. He then looked up and noticed a long skinny rat running toward him. Everything seemed to happen in slow motion. The young bounty hunter slapped the fresh mag home and pulled the bolt as the long slender rat leapt from almost 4 meters away. The beast was flying straight at Kyle as he raised his submachine gun and squeezed the trigger. The 10mm rounds tore through the slender rat at point-blank range, ripping the nightmare creature into several pieces. Kyle wasn't out of the woods yet as countless more rats were flooding into the big room from the basement. The young bounty hunter pointed his submachine gun at the mass of rodents and blasted himself a path to the stairs. The GAC echoed. Kyle sprinted toward the stairs, squeezing off more 3-round bursts into the mass of oversized rats covering the floor like living carpeting. The GAC finally ran dry, but the young bounty hunter had made it to the stairwell. He let the smoking weapon dangle from the front of his webbing as he climbed the stairs as quickly as he could. Kyle moved like a bat out of hell, the wraparound stairs, the floor with the glassed-in offices and the long narrow stairway were all a blur. He soon caught up with bench press and the girl prisoner on the top floor, at the foot of the final stairway up to the roof. Bench press was still carrying the girl under his left arm.
Keep moving, big man!
Kyle shouted as he ran up behind the team's medic. Bench press ignored his throbbing skull as he grabbed the railing with his right hand and climbed the last set of stairs up to the building's cupola. The muscly medic was still carrying the little bomb maker under his left arm. Meanwhile, Kyle unslung Slick's sniper rifle and quickly worked the dial on the digital scope. A second later, a small window appeared within the head-up display of his suit's helmet, a direct feed from the rifle's digital scope. The young bounty hunter then walked up the last set of stairs while pointing the rifle behind him. The small window projected inside Kyle's helmet showed a grainy and greenish night vision view of the top floor of the bank. That's when he saw them. Rats, dozens of them, were emerging from the mouth of the narrow staircase across the massive room and scurrying straight toward him. Slick's rifle whispered. The rifle rounds struck the 3 rats leading the mass of advancing rodents. These bullets passed through them easily before striking and passing through several more mutated monsters behind them. Still, the beasts continued to advance. Kyle quickened his pace and emerged up on the roof. Sam and Laura were both already standing atop the neighboring building. Sam was covering the bank's roof with his automatic shotgun. Bench press was standing near the makeshift bridge they'd rigged hours earlier, still holding the girl prisoner under his left arm. The big man was frozen in place, not out of a fear of heights as that had never been an issue for him before. The real problem was his head was still throbbing and spinning. His vision was as blurry as a drunk's and his legs were wobbly. Bench press just didn't trust himself to make it across the bridge safely.
Bench press? The fuck are you waiting for?
Sam shouted over his suit's radio.
Get your ass over here.
We gotta get across now, bench press!
Kyle added over his own suit's radio. Bench press grabbed 2 handfuls of the girl's radiation suit, the back of the neck just below the helmet, and the loose material along the lower back. Then, without warning, the big man tossed the little bomb maker like a dwarf across the 10 meters separating the two buildings. Mouse was a physically fit woman in her early 20s, but she damn near had a heart attack as she flew across the void between the bank and its next-door neighbor. Luckily, the lil bomb maker had the presence of mind to tuck and roll upon hitting the surface of the neighboring rooftop, avoiding injury with a judo-style breakfall. Mouse breathed a sigh of relief, not only for having made it to the relative safety of the neighboring roof, but because she still had her last soup can-sized limpet bomb tucked inside one of her boots. It wasn't much of a weapon, but it was better than having nothing at all. As Mouse picked herself up onto shaky legs, the lady bounty hunter rushed over and helped her. Back over on the bank's roof, Kyle stood with bench press along the edge of their makeshift bridge.
We're out of time, big man.
Kyle shouted over his suit's radio.
We gotta get across now.
Everything's spinning, boss.
Bench press answered.
I can't see straight, and I sure as hell can't walk straight.
Kyle's hearing had recovered, and he heard his medic loud and clear. The young bounty hunter knew hundreds, no thousands of mutated rats were going to be all over them in a matter of seconds, but he wasn't going to leave his teammate behind. Kyle slung Slick's rifle over his shoulder before stepping past bench press and onto the cash counter bridge. He then grabbed the big man's hand and pulled him onto the narrow plank along with him.
Just keep hold of my hand, and I'll get us across.
Kyle said over their suits' radios. The team's medic gripped his boss's hand and stood sideways along the slab of hardwood like a snowboarder. Kyle carefully walked backwards in short steps and bench press followed in a sideways shuffle. The big man's feet scooted and slid across the smooth countertop. As they got closer to the middle, Kyle and bench press could feel their makeshift bridge bend under their combined weight.
Don't worry about it, big man.
Kyle said as reassuringly as he could.
The bridge is rock solid.
Sam's automatic shotgun suddenly roared. The team's breacher had spotted a couple rats creeping out onto the bank's roof from the cupola, and he vaporized them before they could approach the bridge. The shotgun blasts had startled bench press, causing him to freeze in mid-shuffle and take a deep breath. After a few seconds, the big man was ready to start moving again.